Well, you guys are detained.
What are you approaching us for?
Because you guys were at the gas station for an abnormal amount of time, then you guys saw me, and then you pulled off over into the Citizen 33 gas.
Recently? No. No probation parole?
Yeah, ticket in years.
Yeah, you're not wanted for murder out of California or something like that? No. Okay. Would you have an issue with me searching your car?
Pull up so that they can test it and tell you where it's at, and you refuse to do that, you're refusing to do something off road.
So you're not working out very
Okay? So we'll just wait on the supervisor to get here.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes the people we trust to protect us are the ones we need protection from. It's a hard truth, but not every officer follows the law they swore to uphold. In these real stories, justice didn't come from the badge, it came from brave individuals who stood their ground. When evil cops forget that their body camera's on, the truth has a way of surfacing, and these moments prove that no one is above the law.
I believe that you guys are breaking the law.
You believe that I've broken the law?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why you're calling a K9 unit and I'm being detained?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I have reasonable suspicion that there is criminal activity.
This footage started off strangely, as the officers were watching a car that had stayed a bit longer at a gas station. Instead of seeing it as something normal, like someone using the restroom, they immediately grew suspicious of the driver. There was no real reason for doubt, which raised the question, was this profiling or just overreacting without cause?
Here to talk to you. So you were at the gas station for a really long time, and then pulled over, switched drivers. So why are you avoiding us?
Not at all. Actually, you
Not
just
at
went
all?
down the wrong road because I was going to go to the thrift store.
The thrift store over by Citizen 33?
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Well, I'm not from here, so like,
Excuse me.
it wasn't a big deal. Like, it wasn't.
You are though. You've been around here before.
It was. I just turned too soon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the thrift store is like half a block away from where you turned down, and then you guys switched drivers. Why'd you switch drivers? Does he have warrants?
No.
Who is he?
My boyfriend.
Okay.
Ben.
Ben what?
Crazy.
Crazy? Okay. Is there anything in the car that...
A female officer walked into the restroom and found a woman inside, but that's when the chaos really began. The officer ignored the woman's explanation and immediately started asking more questions, insisting that her behavior was suspicious. Instead of acting reasonably, she used an interrogative tone that felt more like intimidation than public safety. And believe it or not, things were just getting started.
You guys are hiding?
No.
Do you mind if I check?
You can do whatever you need to do.
Okay. 2722, have him step out. Teton 22, and then I can start searching.
You know what? You have to call my lawyer.
Okay.
You have to call my lawyer.
Sounds good. You can't go back into that car though. The post office. And Teton 22. You get a K9 around. Hey guys, so while you're here, I'm gonna have you put your phones right here. You step out of the vehicle, please.
I'm not giving you permission to touch my car, actually.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put your phone down here though, and he needs to get out.
I'm calling my lawyer.
I'm not going to put my phone down.
I'm not doing
Call my
anything.
lawyers.
Actually,
You guys can put the phone down
No,
for right now.
I'm calling my lawyer
Call
right
my
now.
lawyer. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's
Because I
fine.
have that right. Thank you.
You don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
3322, can you come to my location?
Even though the passengers showed they were willing to cooperate, the officer insisted they put down their phones, something that wasn't legally required in this situation. Their right to call a lawyer was being ignored, and their effort to protect themselves was taken as a reason for more pressure. At this point, the police started using force in a situation where it clearly wasn't needed. Apparently, knowing your rights now counts as resisting.
What do we do? Why?
I don't know you guys. I don't know you guys are calling your lawyer. I'm asking you guys nicely to put the phone down.
Why are you?
If not, then I'm gonna have to detain you. Well, you guys are detained.
What are you approaching us for?
Because you guys were at the gas station for an abnormal amount of time, then you guys saw me, and then you pulled off over into the Citizen 33 parking lot, and then you guys switched drivers. Okay, I've asked you guys nicely to put the phones down.
One moment.
That's
We have a right.
That's
We have a right.
Speak to my lawyer.
right.
Speak to our lawyers,
You guys
right?
do. Not
you
at
cannot
right this
just-
moment.
An abnormal time? We were
You
at
guys,
this
I
gas
don't know
station.
who you guys are talking to.
calling my lawyer.
Say that again. We were at the gas station for an abnormal time?
At
I have the
normal
right to
amount
phone
of
this right
time.
now.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, thank you very much.
That being said, you guys are being detained.
Because
So
we were
for
at
my
the gas
safety,
station for an abnormal amount of time.
What are you
because you guys were at the gas station for an abnormal amount of
I
time.
used to
You
work
guys saw
there,
me.
you know?
The passengers asked for an explanation but got confusing answers about reasonable suspicion that had no real legal basis. Even though the citizens insisted on knowing their rights, the officers ignored them and carried out a search. One person asked to call a lawyer, but the police dismissed that request, calling it unreasonable. And sadly, this abuse of power was far from over.
That, right?
And then you
I
guys
know
pulled over
people there and
off onto the side
hanging
of
out,
this. Okay, so you guys asked me a question. Do you want me to answer this question or do you want to argue?
Yeah,
Because we can do
You have
both.
no right to pull us over for that. I'm sorry. Or to even come and approach us for.
I have the right to approach
You're telling me I'm
anybody.
detained. Why?
You are being
Why am I
detained
being
for reasonable
detained? I've broken the
suspicion.
law.
Yep, we are calling for a canine unit. That's
I've
where we're
broken
at.
the law. That's what you're
I
saying?
believe that you guys are breaking
You
the law.
believe that I've broken the law?
Yep.
Okay, so that's why you're calling a canine unit and I'm being detained.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I have reasonable suspicion that there is criminal activity afoot.
Reasonable
What are you
suspicion.
talking
What is that
about?
reasonable suspicion exactly?
I already told you guys.
That we were at the gas station for an
You were
abnormal
at the
amount
gas
of time.
station for an
pulled
abnormal
over.
amount of time.
Okay.
You guys saw me. You guys pulled over,
Actually,
switched
you
drivers.
pulled out before we pulled over.
No.
Yeah, you did, actually, because I saw you back in the rear view mirror.
Okay, we can argue about that in court.
Let's pause for a second. Next time you need the police and can't find a single officer, don't wonder where they are, just remember this video. Chances are your officers are also hanging around a gas station, wasting time and checking how long someone stays inside. Can you believe it? And if you think they've hit rock bottom, just wait, it gets worse.
That being said.
I know the facts.
Okay. Ma'am, I cannot have you on the phone right now.
I'm calling my
You don't
lawyer.
have the
If
right
you
to
want
tell
to,
us.
if you want to
I'm
talk
not
to your
saying a word
lawyer.
Yeah, we have the
until
right
I
to
talk
speak
my
to our lawyer right now.
And
Sorry.
my lawyer
We do.
represents me, so.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
We have the right to speak.
That being said, though, I don't know who you are calling.
I'm calling Sean Bartley.
I'm calling
Okay.
Barton Birch's office is actually right over there.
3322, can you expedite this?
Ridiculous.
Okay. Well,
So we will cooperate. We're not trying to.
that.
we're not trying-
I'm gonna pat you down for weapons. Make sure
Why?
I'm not gonna. Because I have the right to do that as well.
No, you don't actually, sir.
Yes,
You don't have the right to touch me.
Can you get over here, please?
You have a right to touch me.
If you're gonna be detained, then I have.
Why am I being detained, sir? What law have
She
I
already
broken?
told you.
I pulled out of the gas station and then I pulled over.
Okay.
That
Well,
is
I'm
not a
gonna
law,
check.
bro.
I'm gonna pat you down for weapons. Okay.
I have no weapon. Well, I have a knife.
The passengers were honest and said they had no weapons except for a pocket knife, yet they were treated like dangerous criminals. One officer even demanded to see someone's body to check for hidden weapons, despite having no real reason to do so. This was a clear sign of police paranoia and the needless escalation of a routine situation. And believe it or not, the worst decisions were still ahead.
Okay. Okay. Can you
That's
keep
the
your
only
hands
thing I
up
have.
for me? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna set that on your car.
Put your
Okay.
speaker.
I will hand it to you. Consider it.
I don't want
But
you to
don't
hand it to
Well,
me.
then you're not going to touch me, sir.
I have a
Because
knife
you
in
don't
my
have the right
pocket
to
because I was
touch me.
scratching.
So
Think about it. Please, I know the law.
I
know my
want
rights.
a canine. Doesn't
Okay,
matter
I'm gonna
where
hold that
from.
out.
Get one
I'm
here.
gonna pull that out
Fine.
and just put it on the car.
That's the last time you're going to touch me.
Do you have any other weapons on?
No, I do not.
Okay, would you mind pulling up the back of your shirt for me? Just show the back of your waistband. Okay.
No problem. Nothing in my boots.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Not trying to be a bitch or anything like that. Honest to God. Honest to God. It's just because I don't want you calling anybody here to like come shoot me or anything like that.
I'm
if that
calling
makes
my
sense.
lawyer. I'm not.
Okay.
We do
You
not
cannot
have
approach
to
us
talk.
and do
You
this
cannot
to
do
us.
this.
You have
I'm
rights.
checking
You
the
guys
mail.
don't have to talk to me right now. You guys can't get back into your car right now. You guys are being detained.
There was still no legal reason to detain anyone, but the officers ignored every attempt at reasonable conversation. The citizens clearly asked, "What did we do wrong?" Instead of getting an answer, they were met with more demands and threats. This was starting to look more like abuse of power and baseless intimidation. Apparently, asking simple questions now makes you a threat.
Okay.
Or
I'm just saying I don't want
I'm being
calling
detained
anybody
for what?
to come here.
What have I done
okay?
wrong?
Does that
I
make
haven't
sense?
broken the law.
It doesn't matter.
I haven't broken the law.
First of all, this is harassment because I don't think you guys really understand your laws and our rights. And right now, you're violating our rights.
Okay, if
because
that's
you came over and approached us, and now you're telling us we're being detained for nothing.
I already told you.
Well,
I already told
you
you I
have
have
to-
reasonable suspicion to detain you.
reasonable suspicion to detain me for what violation of what law have you
Because you guys
reasonable
are
suspicion?
avoiding me.
We're not avoiding you because we pulled over.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with you.
And then switched.
We pulled over
and then switched drivers,
Okay.
and then came back on the road when you guys didn't think I was following you anymore.
And is that against the law?
No, but it is super atypical.
That's harassing. That's profiling also.
Asking for a lawyer was treated like an act of hostility. The female officer raised her voice and ordered them to sit on the curb, threatening arrest. But curb sitting isn't a law. It's just an authoritarian command with no real basis. The citizens tried to understand why they were being held, but instead of a conversation, they were given an ultimatum. And just when you think they can't be any more unprofessional, think again.
It's profiling and stalking. Hello? Hey, Sean, I'm here with the police, and she is trying to detain me as for whatever suspicions she might have because I was at the gas station for too long. And so, can you please talk to the cops?
Because you're already watching.
I'm here right now.
Too long. That makes sense.
I mean, here she's on the phone right now. Like, please.
I'm not understanding.
She's trying to arrest me, and I was seriously going to check my mail.
Not under arrest right now.
So they're bringing, they're saying we're being detained, and they're going to bring the drug dog to our vehicle.
Sergeant Allison, both of you sit on the curb right now.
I'm sorry?
Sit on the
We don't have a right to say anything.
I can, we're detaining you. Sit on the curb.
You can't detain us. This is our lawyer. We talked about it. Not
Sir?
a
All right, sit on the curb or you're under arrest for resisting.
I have done nothing.
Sit on the curb.
What have I done?
The woman said she had done nothing wrong and just wanted to understand. The police took that as a reason to physically restrain and arrest her. Her basic right to ask why became a threat to their authority. So flimsy. This was a clear case of police intimidating rather than protecting. But the real breaking point? When her lawyer got involved, then things truly exploded.
Sir, sit on the curb.
Can you tell me what law I broke?
Sir, sit on the curb.
Will this be over?
I'm not going to.
Sit on the curb.
What have we done wrong?
We are calling for a canine. Sit
I
on
don't
the
care
curb.
about the canine. That's about it.
Sir, I'm ordering you to sit on the curb.
Ordering me?
Yes.
Can you please
Officer, we're not in the military. I was in the military, but thank you very much. Okay,
You're under
okay.
arrest for obstructing.
Don't let her walk away.
Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. You guys are. You know that? You know that? You guys have violated people. I don't care. Go ahead. Go ahead. Stuff needs to change. You do whatever you want. Call Bart now, please. Call Bart, please. They're arresting me for what? Nothing. Nothing. I've done nothing wrong. By asking questions, this is what I've done.
Sir, you were ordered to sit on the curb and you did not.
Ordered to sit on the curb.
The arrest was already underway without any valid reason. Officers took personal items, including her phone, without consent. Even though the woman clearly said she didn't agree to a search, they ignored her. This was a direct violation of her basic rights to privacy and communication. The police acted aggressively, driven by assumptions rather than by law. And yet, the most alarming part of their behavior was still to come.
Does that sound like a legal term to you?
Yeah.
For a law? Excuse me, man. That is not your property. That is not your property. None of this is your property. This is illegal, Bart or Sean.
Here's some cigarettes.
Why are you shaking?
Me?
Yeah.
Am I shaking?
Yeah. Oh. Nervous? Oh.
What?
Because you're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law.
Okay.
Do you know the law?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
Okay. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not complaining anything about it.
Kick off this boot for me.
I was seriously checking her mail.
Pick up your left foot and up.
One person was taken into custody, while the other was still trying to hold on to her phone and contact a lawyer. The police denied her that right, which was illegal. At this point, the citizens were completely powerless, and the reasons for their detention remained unclear. What made it even worse was the police's constant refusal to be transparent. But wait, there's even more.
Been behind you.
Okay. Good talking about it.
All right.
You do have the right to remain silent.
Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You also have the right to have an attorney present during any questioning. You cannot afford one. One will be appointed at public expense. Do you understand your rights? All right. Well, you've been informed of that, so.
Okay, you can put your boot on. Do you want me to grab this side? Did you
Not
search
yet.
that side? He's on 22. We've got 1 detained. Go ahead with your traffic.
Despite verbal resistance and clear attempts to defend their rights, the citizens were now facing a police plan to search their car using a canine unit. Honestly, these evil cops acted like they forgot their body camera was on, because no reasonable person would behave this way. Either they were clueless or just full of arrogance. In both cases, they kept escalating the situation, and if you think they've reached their limit, keep watching because they haven't.
Correction, 1 under arrest.
What?
Did you say there's something in there?
Yeah, there's something in there.
What's this regarding?
I don't understand what.
Madison's on.
What?
Madison's on.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to take her phone for right now?
Yeah,
I've asked her several times. Okay. I do have to take your phone. I don't want you calling other people. I understand that you're trying to talk to your lawyer. He has the right to call his lawyer when it's reasonable. Right now it is not reasonable. So I'm going to take your phone right now.
I'm not consenting to any searches, and
That's
I'm not
okay.
consenting to
Thank you.
I'm not consenting
I
to
have no
anything.
representation now. It's illegal. Where's my lawyer? Where's my lawyer?
We're not asking any more questions.
He has the right to talk to his lawyer.
He does, yes, when it's reasonable. So when earlier, when I was saying, hey, you guys can't be talking to people right now, it's not
That
reasonable
is
for us to be able to
reasonable.
talk
It is
to you
by
guys.
law we have the right to exercise.
The citizens showed no resistance, yet the police kept treating them like a threat. This moment revealed how easily basic rights can be ignored when officers act on personal suspicion instead of actual evidence. The canine unit was clearly being used as a tool of intimidation, even though nothing suspicious had been found so far. But really, how much longer until these officers finally give up?
Our rights and talk to
You
our
do
lawyer
have
and
the right
have
to
only go
exercise
through
your
our
rights.
lawyer.
That being said, when it causes me a public safety and the public
It's not a
a
conflict
danger,
of public
danger, right? But I don't know you, right? Is that fair? I don't know you. I don't know him. I'm saying, hey, you guys were being super weird, super suspicious.
We were not being weird at all. We were sitting at the gas stations doing scratches. Did you come in and look? Did you actually?
We actually had people
How come you
come
pulled
in and
over
look.
and swapped drivers? But you
I
got
went
behind
to
you.
the wrong. We
So how
going
come
to
you
the
swapped drivers?
just because we swapped drivers.
Don't answer.
Why?
Don't answer.
Why?
I'm not
right
talking.
after. Okay, she's
Don't
done
answer.
talking.
What does it matter?
the bite dog or not, so I don't want you to get bitten on accident or anything weird. Don't worry about that curb. I said, don't worry about that curb.
In the end, the dog didn't find anything. The police admitted the person was free to go, confirming that the entire operation had no real basis. And yet, one of the citizens was still taken in just in case, exposing the arbitrary nature of the whole intervention. Apparently, expecting restraint from them is like expecting a predator to release its prey.
It breaks. It can be fixed.
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. So,
Oh, you know, just wishing we had two instead of one.
Let's
so
come
we
back
have one on
a
this
little
end.
further. Like I said, I don't know if he's a bite dog or
Sorry,
not,
yeah,
and I
it's
don't
this
want
car
anything
here.
to happen.
per car?
What's
It's our
that?
car, yes.
Should be able to, but
go for
you
it.
never know. Is this far enough back for you?
She has lawyered up.
Is this far enough back for you?
As long as it's not a
So I spoke to my
criminal
lawyer.
information.
Far enough back for you?
That's right. He has the right to search my car myself.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know that I'm gonna run a dog around the car. Okay, any problems with my dog touching your car or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanna make sure. What's your name? Chandra? All right, thanks, Chandra.
Of course, even after realizing their mistake, the officers still didn't leave. Instead, they kept questioning the woman, hoping to find something they could use to detain her. This isn't how officers behave when their job is to truly protect citizens, now is it? But their ego was far too big for a simple apology. And if you're wondering whether they ever admitted fault, take a wild guess.
I already pointed it out to him earlier. Well, there's a truck. I already pointed it out. Oh, nothing.
Even after checking the car one more time, just in case, as if they'd missed something the first time, they reluctantly had to let the woman go. They probably thought they looked powerful in this situation, but all they really did was turn themselves into clowns on social media with their behavior. But if you thought these cops were bad, just wait until you see our next case. Speaking of times when evil cops forget their body camera is on, let's talk about a case where an officer pulled over two people claiming a dog had detected something suspicious. But the truth? The dog was only brought in after the drivers refused a search. In other words, they tried to bypass the right to privacy by using the canine unit as an excuse to search without a warrant, and from that moment on, everything went downhill.
Hey, brother. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Officer Hagel, Murfreesboro Police Department, okay? Just a little thing about your plate, dog. Your plate back here is about to fall off.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I gotta get back home and take it.
I got you. Where's home at?
Texas.
Texas?
Yeah,
okay. What brings you up this way?
This is my parents in McMinnville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, then. You got your ID on you?
Yes, sir.
You guys fly up here?
Oh, sorry? No,
Yeah.
we drove.
Oh, is that just old luggage then?
What's that? No, that's our luggage. That's luggage we brought with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just the old flight tag then?
Oh yeah. She keeps her flight tags on her bag. Probably got something from Disney World on there.
Disney
somewhere.
World, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Who is this to you?
Oh, that's my daughter.
Your daughter?
Bella.
All right. Cool. You got insurance on the car?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you grab that for me and the registration, please?
Somewhere. I don't even know what the interest rate secret's in there. Now this is maybe an old card, but
An old card? Okay. How old is old? You know what I mean?
it's the same company, same what does it say on there? Car's not that old, so
Yeah. Gotcha.
where's the other one there, Bella? See what I think that is.
It all started when the driver was pulled over for a loose license plate. This was a minor traffic issue, but it quickly became clear the officer wanted more. Instead of giving a warning and moving on, he asked for documents and used polite conversation to gather extra information. This kind of behavior doesn't reflect concern for the law. It shows a clear attempt to dig for something.
Yep, that's good. That'll work.
Okay.
Nope, I lied, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
It's February.
It's like an insurance company.
Yeah.
My wife hands me those, and
Here's the oldest one back. How are the one, at least not in English, but how long you guys been up here?
we've been since Sunday.
Sunday?
That week. We left Monday last week and got here on Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. How long of a drive is that?
It's about 800 miles.
800
It
miles?
depends on which way you go.
Yeah.
You go through Louisiana, it's a little, I think it's actually longer that way, but it's faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No guns, bombs, grenades in the car, nothing like that?
I have a shotgun in the back, but it doesn't have anything in it.
In the back?
I'm bringing it back from my parents' house.
Yeah. In the trunk or in the backpack?
In the trunk.
Okay.
In the trunk, yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, it's an old school one or something?
Yeah, it's when I had one when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
My parents bought me like 18 years old when they bought it.
Yeah. What kind is it?
It's a 20 gauge. It's we looked it up before. It's a Harrington and Richardson.
Okay. I got you.
So,
The conversation continued. Even though there was clearly no reason to keep the driver any longer, the officer started asking about a rifle in the trunk, even though owning a legal firearm isn't a crime in either Texas or Tennessee. It was obvious he was trying to provoke a reason for a search, despite everything up to that point being completely lawful and calm. But just wait, what they did next takes this to a whole new level.
little sheep done and
Yeah.
dad bought me.
I got you. How long have you lived in Texas?
I've lived in Texas since 2012.
Oh, why'd you move out?
We were in Los Angeles, and my wife got a job in. When she moved out here, she was pharmaceutical, and she had this half the country, everything from Texas.
Yeah.
East.
Oh, okay. I got you. Wait, how'd you guys, now, your life story seems kind of wild. How'd you end up in L.A.?
I met my wife on a cruise
Oh, yeah?
in 2006.
Oh, nice.
Went on a cruise April 2006, and we
Was it a booze cruise and just kind of...
it was a singles cruise.
Yeah.
Singles cruise, and we met and talked on the phone, and
The driver spoke openly and honest, even sharing personal details about his wedding and moving plans. But instead of realizing he was dealing with a regular family visiting relatives, the officer kept questioning him with no real cause. This part clearly showed how some cops use friendly conversation as a hidden form of interrogation and surveillance, just hoping to find something to use against you.
been married in 2007.
I got you. All right, man.
May of 2007.
Nah, man. Hey, look. Most I'm going to do is going to write you out a warning ticket. Okay, it's not a no court date, no court fines or nothing like that. Okay, my intention's not out here to write out tickets, man. To make people aware what's going on. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tell her to put her seatbelt on when we're riding too.
The officer finally said he would just issue a warning, but that didn't stop his suspicion. Even after admitting there was no need for a citation, he kept doubting the story about their luggage, the child, and how long they planned to stay. Apparently, having just one bag somehow meant they were lying. Some things only make sense in a cop's imagination.
Obviously, 554110, right? You got to be securely fastened.
Yep.
They're coming from McMinnville. Drove here from Texas. They've got luggage with flight tags on it in the back, and that they brought only one little suitcase with them to be there for a week at his parents' house.
Huh. Interesting.
And now they're going to go driving back, but not today. And they're coming out to Murfreesboro for something.
You didn't say what, huh?
So, and his quote-unquote daughter in the passenger seat was, the whole time I was behind her, like, got up in her seat to look around and look behind us. And so...
The officer noticed a blanket, a pillow, and some mess in the car and used that as yet another reason for suspicion, as if everyday life automatically points to crime. Even worse, he commented on the child's appearance, subtly suggesting she might not be the man's daughter based purely on race or ethnicity. Honestly, how this man stayed calm is beyond understanding.
And his wife's name is Tina. And unless that daughter is adopted or Tina is Hispanic, that girl in there looks really Hispanic.
Running her around.
Maybe. I don't know. So and he's just like all over the place, giving out a bunch of information. Says he's got a shotgun in the trunk. So that his parents, something from his parents from... A little bit of nervousness there with him.
Nothing in plain view. It's the car pretty clean.
And I mean, the car's got like junk in it. Like, it's got like a pillow. It looks like it's got like a blanket. But what's throwing me off is that I asked him about flying up here, and he goes no. And then I was like, okay, then what's up with the tags with the luggage on it, or the luggage with the tags on it? He goes, oh yeah, that's our luggage that we brought up here with us. Now, if you go up there and look, you can see that it's just one little suitcase for two people. Now, he might have something in the trunk, but I was like, oh, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I said, she might have something on it, it says from Disney World. But...
Now, the officer commented on how the child looked at him from the car, as if that were some kind of suspicious behavior. A child turning to look at a police officer means absolutely nothing, but he used it as yet another indicator that something was wrong. This moment showed just how easily some officers turn ordinary, innocent actions into excuses for excessive scrutiny.
Cameron, hey, come back here with me real quick.
Sorry.
Hey, how old?
Yes, sir.
How old was your daughter?
14.
14. Okay. First time being up in Tennessee?
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter knows she's been here several times.
Oh, okay. I got it. This is the first time back in how long?
Years.
A year. Okay. You come up here yearly? No. That's what I'm talking about. You know, the plate's kind of dangling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we gotta do. Okay. And where is it? Katy? Is that where you live at? Katy, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Where's that at compared to Houston? 'Cause I see the Houston stuff.
The officer kept going with trivial conversation about Mr. Cameron's place of stay and his license plate, completely ignoring that this was a harmless issue. Instead of wrapping it up with a warning, he used the chat as a tool to collect more information, hoping to twist it into justification for a deeper search. Apparently, small talk isn't just small when a cop wants something bigger.
On the car, like, is that far from Houston, or is that?
No.
I don't know, dude. I don't know shit about Texas. Okay, like, I've never been down there. I've never. Also, he's got probably one of the most unique ways of spelling the last name, like Jimi Hendrix.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so, part of what me and also Barbie up there do, okay, we look for guns, drugs, bombs, grenades. Okay, we're not out here doing, traffic enforcement for our health. You said you got that old shotgun in there. Okay. Any other weapons in that vehicle? No. No drugs. No. $15,000 worth of,
I got 100, less than probably $200.
Okay. No problem. You ever been in trouble before? Recently? No. No probation, parole?
I ticket in years.
Yeah, you're not wanted for murder out of California or something like that? No. Okay. Would you have an issue with me searching your car?
I would, but you can.
That's what. Look, it's going to be a yes or no question. Okay.
Finally, after all the small talk, the officer revealed his true motive. It wasn't about a traffic stop at all, but a drug search. He began asking questions about weapons, cash, and past criminal records, even though Cameron had no record and clearly stated he had no drugs. The officer asked to search the car without cause. When Cameron refused, that refusal was treated as suspicious.
Okay.
If you don't want me to, cool. If not, or if you do, cool. We'll get you out here. That's not going to change my decision on doing anything anyways. I told you from the beginning it's going to be a warning ticket, right? I'm not going to get my feelings hurt and write you out a real ticket because you denied me consent to search your car.
I don't see there's a good reason to, so I would say if you tell me you got a reason to, or a valid reason, I'll say yes, but otherwise no.
Okay, look, all I'm saying is it's just me and him work together a while. We work this area all the time. We work off of John Bragg. We know what comes out of out that way, right? There's a lot of meth and stuff.
Because I'm from out of town.
No, it's not having to do anything with that. Okay, I mean that adds to my little bit of like suspicions and stuff.
Yes.
But I've got a whole checklist of things that I look for. Okay, that just happened to be the violation. Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you how that happened.
Yeah, tell me how that happened.
I'll tell you exactly how that happened. It's a new car.
Yeah, new car.
Okay. So I'm putting the thing back in. I don't know what was wrong with the screw. I don't know if it's something in the manufacturing or what. It just broke off.
Yeah. It looks like it got sheared off, and maybe it got rusty.
Sheared. No, it just sheared. It just broke off when I was putting it with a electric drill, and it just popped off.
Mr. Cameron calmly refused the search and clearly stated there was no reason for suspicion. That's when the officer admitted his concerns were based on a gut feeling and stereotypes of out-of-state vehicles. Being from Texas and having one bag doesn't mean you're smuggling drugs. Yet, listen closely. While the officer sounded like he was offering a choice, he had already decided the outcome.
I got to cut costs somewhere, you know what I mean? So I probably don't use the best.
Yeah, it was, I got, at home I got some drills I can bore it back out with, but it wasn't dropping down for a long time, but by the time I got on the road to come here, I'm like, that thing's dropping down, but I don't have the tools.
I know, I got you. Mom and Dad didn't have something to poke it up there with?
No, I'm afraid I'm gonna start with a small bit, and loosen it first, so I can just kind of go up, size it up a little bit.
Okay, I got you.
So I can break it off in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, look, okay, well, so, like I said, man, it's not gonna change my mind about whether to write you a warning ticket or not, okay? I'm not a big ticket writer. I don't want to write you a ticket that you're not gonna show up for, right, if you gotta go back to Texas.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It'll be something that you could pay over the phone, but I feel like you've got a long drive ahead of you and $160 city tickets you gotta worry about back here in Murfreesboro. It's not something you should be worried about.
Yeah.
When are you going back?
I'm headed back right now.
You're heading back right now?
Headed back
Okay.
right now. We
All right. What time's you just gonna hopefully beat all the traffic and everything?
Well, we're gonna stop it where we are. If it was just me by myself, I would drive all the way. But
The officer kept insisting he had no intention of writing a ticket, yet he continued to hold Cameron in place, kept questioning him, and was clearly considering an unauthorized search of the trunk. It all came down to one thing. There was no legitimate reason for the detention, and yet the man wasn't free to leave. Does the officer even realize this is illegal, or does he just not care?
What's that? I'm sorry?
I said if it were just me by myself, I'd drive all the way.
yeah.
But we're gonna stop it a little while. Because
All right, man. Well, hey, do me a favor, okay? Because I don't know. Like you say, you don't got no more guns, but I don't know. Or we're just gonna.
I'll pop the trunk for you.
No, let's not do that, okay? Just hang out right here. I'm gonna get you started on that warning ticket, okay?
Okay. What was your suspicion based on? What was your suspicion made based on that you searched my car?
Well, the dog hit on the car.
I mean, the reason you called the dog when I told you couldn't search.
Oh, because here's the deal. So we have that right to do that, right? We have that.
At this point, the police finally called in the canine unit. The dog alerted on the vehicle, but we know Cameron uses legally prescribed medication containing amphetamines. Instead of recognizing that as a valid explanation, the officers exploited the dog's reaction as a convenient excuse to search the car, something they'd clearly been aiming for from the very start. And just like that, their fishing expedition turned into a full-blown invasion.
I have reasonable articulable suspicion, and I have that, right? From and it might have just been the fact that she was mistaken. Right? We had from what I could see in the vehicle at the time, right, with small little bag, right? For a two-person team to be up here, or two-person units to be up here in one little bag like that for a whole week's worth of stuff, doesn't make sense to me. But when we see trafficking, when we see drug trafficking here, okay, that's typically the MO. They'll fly up here, you get a car, you rent a car. So I didn't run your tag until I already got you stopped, right? So for all I know, that's a rental car. What they'll do is they'll fly up here, they'll rent a car, and then drive it back to their home place, right? Okay, and they'll use kids too. They will, I'm just traveling with my...
The officer began elaborating on the so-called suspicious patterns: one bag, a short visit, and traveling with a child. He used these as supposed signs of drug trafficking, which was absurd. His imagination projected a smuggling scenario with zero evidence to support it. Claiming the child might be used as cover became just another biased cliche, and with that, the line between police work and wild speculation completely vanished.
Daughter or son, or my cousin, or my nephew, or whatever, we're taking them back home. Okay? We see that a lot. Okay? We have all those, okay? And then you're telling me when you got in and when, that you're going home, right? You got in Sunday. Like I said, that you were speaking, right? So I'm thinking, yes. And now you're going home? Raise my flags up a little bit. I got you Monday. Yeah. And then you said, oh, we left Monday and got in Tuesday. Okay, so the fact that you might have misspoke makes me think that your story isn't, cohesive with everybody else going on. Okay, well, look, I get you. I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay? You asked for my suspicions, that was my suspicions, okay? And based off my training and experience and the stuff that I have seen and done here at this police department, a lot of it's system. Okay? It's nothing, right? I'm making sure that there's nothing. Okay? That's my whole thing. That's my whole reason why I'm on a specialized unit. That's why I have a stripe, because I, taught myself pretty well, and now they trust me to teach other people. I have enough skill set to realize that something's not right. Okay, and all we need for the United States Supreme Court is reasonable suspicion, right?
So I understand all that, and
The case kept unfolding as the officer tried to analyze a minor inconsistency in the travel timeline, treating it as a sign of deception. Even though the differences were trivial, he used them to justify suspicion. Rather than relying on facts, he leaned on his intuition and experience, which isn't a legal basis for a search, but a dangerous practice in disguise.
What kind of amphetamine you got at prescription? You know what I mean?
I told you about that.
Yeah. So that's probably what the dog hit him, because the dog's trained on methamphetamine, right? Amphetamine is amphetamine no matter how you slice it. Okay? You can cut it depending on what you're cutting it with and everything, all that other stuff. It's still amphetamine. Okay? Just like Adderall, it's just basically meth.
And you said, man, with ADHD, it's spoke, as you said.
Yeah, and that could happen, right? But all I know is that I don't know you from anybody. Okay? I don't know her from anybody. Right? For all I know, you're the kingpin down in Katy, Texas.
You know what I'm from out of town.
No, that's part of it. That's not all of it. That's part of it. Okay, we see tags from Ohio, we see tags from Vermont, we see tags from all this other stuff. California, we see it all.
A lot of California tags out here.
Right, and they're all rentals. 90% of them are rentals. Okay? And we see a lot of drug trafficking too. Right? You can look it up just not too long ago, a couple months ago, that I was a part of an event where we pulled 20 kilos.
The officer openly admitted he had already planned to call the dog, regardless of whether he got consent. That proved that refusing the search made no difference. The search was going to happen no matter what. He used indicators so vague and generic that nearly any vehicle could be labeled as suspicious. This was a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Methamphetamine out of car.
If I got insurance on the cars, it wouldn't be. If I got an insurance card, it wouldn't be a rental.
What? Right. I don't know that until I'm already up. Right. I'm already talking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't.
This all happened.
I saw you coming down John Bragg.
But those guys didn't get called in to pull out
because I had all this, right?
Because I told you I couldn't search my car.
Right. Because I asked for consent first. But I still had my reasonable suspicion to call for the dog if I needed.
But when you called for the dog, you didn't have a reasonable suspicion anymore because you had
for a rental. No, not for a rental. No, but there's other indicators.
In the end, even though the search was carried out and nothing illegal was found, Mr. Cameron had already been subjected to arbitrary detention, baseless suspicion, and an unconstitutional search. The police faced no consequences, while an ordinary citizen paid the price for their paranoia and racial bias. Have you ever dealt with cops who thought they were above the law? Let us know in those comments below. And we're moving on to the next, even wilder case. This time, an officer pulled over a woman for allegedly illegal window tint. She wasn't refusing to cooperate. She simply asked him to write the ticket instead of testing the tint, which was her right. But instead of respecting that, the officer immediately took a threatening tone and created unnecessary tension all over a piece of glass. And believe it or not, this glass-thin excuse for control was just the beginning.
Hey, how y'all doing? Officer Code TPD, do you have your driver's license?
What happened?
Well, your tint is illegal, so I want to test it and let you know for sure.
Oh, well, I'm not letting you test it, so you can write it. You can write it.
Okay, so you're not going to let me test your tint?
No, sir, you can go ahead and write the ticket. I'm not sure if I have it, and I don't just want to be fumbling around in it, but I do have my registration and everything.
You don't have your driver's license with you?
I'm not sure.
Where y'all headed?
I was going to get my baby sister.
Okay.
Hey, man, I got to get rid of this car. It's the car. It's always a problem. They always think I'm a male. I'm not.
The woman called her father to explain what was happening. He confirmed that she didn't have to agree with the tint test, but the officer responded by threatening her with arrest if she didn't roll up the window. A completely disproportionate reaction. Instead of informing her of her rights, he tried to force compliance through intimidation. Apparently, asking a parent for advice is now treated like resisting arrest.
Here we go, actually.
A male? I'm going to have to test your tint. I mean, I'd rather do that than have to take it further than that. So, if you just roll it up a little.
Yes, sir. Let me call my daddy.
Once everyone gets overhead, we'll go through this breaking up now.
Okay. What are you calling him for?
Property.
Just said you can write the ticket.
So we get the,
no, I have to test it to know where it's at.
Daddy, I done got pulled over. And his all the way black. Daddy, I just got pulled over. This officer literally waited. He literally went in a neighborhood to pull, like he went in a neighborhood
there's nothing against I can't do that. That's fine. Please.
Now he's talking about my team, but I told him I don't want him to test my team. Just write the ticket.
Sir, if she doesn't let me test it, she'll go to jail. This is ridiculous.
He say if I don't let him test my tent, then I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
But this man is literally targeting me. He literally purposely drove through a neighborhood.
As the situation escalated, the officer demanded that the window be rolled up so he could test the tint. The woman expressed discomfort and simply asked to be issued a ticket, but the officer stubbornly refused to compromise and began using the term non-compliance as grounds for possible detention, even though that had no legal basis. And from here, the misuse of authority only got bolder.
That's what I thought. I know you can't go to jail for.
Right now, she's resisting this investigation. So if she can't roll the window up,
you can't.
Sir,
You don't have to cooperate.
Daddy, can
Excuse
you
me?
please come here?
okay, you have
Where
to.
you at?
You have to
I'm
cooperate.
at the same store where I just got a put in me at. This man got me at the same spot where I just got to go.
I'm really not trying to do this today.
Yes, sir.
Ask him, is that an order?
Yes, it's an order. It's a lawful order for you to roll your window up a little bit so I can test it. I'm not trying to do this.
But what if she don't want to let you test it?
Then
You can't take her to jail,
then
man.
she'll be resisting the whole investigation.
Not resisting. That's not resisting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because you're not allowing me to do my job.
Okay, listen, she don't have to help you do your job.
Yes, she does.
She don't have to help you investigate. Okay, take her to jail and I'm
not
gonna
a
just do y'all.
lawsuit.
The woman's father tried to intervene, but the officer told him she had to assist with the investigation. That was false. Citizens aren't required to actively participate in a search without a warrant. The police twisted the law to justify their authority, ignoring her right to remain silent and her right to limited consent. And once that line crossed, the truth doesn't stand a chance.
Do your job then.
It's not a lawsuit.
Do your job and we gonna see.
Can I talk to you and not him, please?
He said he want to talk to me and not you, but I don't feel the need to talk to him because
It don't matter. You don't have to let
You
him
waited for me to pull out of that neighborhood
doesn't
to get
matter.
behind
None
me,
of that
sir.
matters.
You literally did that.
Ma'am, if you just roll your window up a little bit, I'm going to test it, and I'll let you know
No,
where
you
it's
don't have to cooperate.
Can you just write me the ticket, sir, and we could do it like that?
I need to know where it's at. What's your ticket?
You can't write you a ticket if you can't test it.
Exactly. So now you're
That's
making
why
my
he wants
job
you to let him
impossible.
test it. You can't write a ticket. You don't want you to test it.
That's the definition of resisting. So if you can just roll it up a little bit, I'll test it and let you know.
Resist.
If it's illegal, it's illegal. If it's good, I'm going to let you go. If it's illegal, I was thinking about just giving you a warning. You're making it really difficult, man.
Call the sergeant. Tell him to call the sergeant. Tell him to call the sergeant. I'm heading over there. Tell him to call the sergeant.
Okay.
Right there on
This store right here on Spring Hill in Springstead.
Yeah, I know you're at. I'm right here giving my case on.
And you got a long way.
Huh?
You got a long way.
747. It don't matter. You tell him to call the sergeant.
The driver's requesting a sergeant. They're being uncooperative with the
Calling the sergeant right now.
Okay, yeah, because you don't got to roll your window. I don't know what he's talking about. You don't got to help him with his investigation. It's like if you see somebody shoot somebody, you don't got to tell him you see that.
The woman grew visibly upset, feeling targeted and profiled. She explained that she had been stopped multiple times because of her car and felt like she was being singled out. Instead of acknowledging her concern, the officer doubled down on control, using threatening language instead of empathy. And rather than de-escalating, he called for backup.
They literally targeted me that. He turned into a neighborhood and waited for me to pull out.
right down the road.
And this man literally waited until I pulled out and then jumped behind me. And then yesterday I was followed twice by 2 police officers. Like, they keep bothering me because of this car. I am not a dope boy. I work for everything that I have.
I didn't say you were a
sir.
dope boy.
I'm so sorry
stopping
that
you
it's
for
a
your
nigga
tent.
car, but I'm not.
Roadhouse Northwest, Roadhouse Northwest.
Now didn't I tell you too?
So just wait on the sergeant. We need to go.
All right.
I'll be going home.
I told you, bro, it's the car. They swear they gonna have a dope boy when I roll this window down.
747-201. My driver's requesting a sergeant to the stop.
Dispatch, I'm being around.
Spring Sacks and Spring Hill's the final. So yeah, so when your tent is dark and an officer's telling you to roll the window up so that they can test it and tell you where it's at, and you refuse to do that, you're refusing to do something unlawful. Okay. So we'll just wait on the supervisor to get here.
Yes, sir.
A supervising officer arrived and added even more pressure, pointing out that the woman worked in the correction system and that an arrest could ruin her career. Instead of calming the situation, he used fear as leverage. This behavior was manipulative and inappropriate, especially towards someone who clearly understood legal procedures. Apparently, protect and serve now includes career threats as a negotiation tactic.
So we'll walk in there together.
Done?
So I stopped this vehicle for 10 violation.
Okay.
You want to use my...
Any unit working a special event at Southwood Rec Center to Southeast. Any unit working special event at Southwood Rec Center to Southeast.
She wants to speak to a sergeant. I defer to that. I want you to talk to her, explain the situation, but...
Okay.
Can't really get some
I told her
police
that
right
doesn't
there.
have any involvement.
Okay, ma'am. I see you're a correction officer. If you get arrested, I'm pretty sure you won't be anymore. So here's the thing. For window tint, you have to roll the window up. It's a lawful command. If you fail to obey a lawful command, you'll be arrested.
Can you be an officer, then I need to pull my window up.
Well, no, as a citizen, you need to do that. I'm just saying you have a significantly more powerful consequence of getting arrested.
If they win, I got consequences.
I understand. Most people don't.
That's why I called him out here, because I know that that's not...
Why would they tint windows too dark if they know you? Why would they sell you the car and they know the windows, you could get arrested?
Arrested for resistance. You're not complying.
Well, I have a right also, right? I have a right to not permanent myself, right? Yes, sir.
To not what?
I plead the fifth. I don't want to get my tents tested.
That's
right?
that's not an option. By driving, you forfeit certain rights. You can't say we pull you over for a traffic offense.
The woman tried to maintain her dignity, invoking her right not to incriminate herself. In response, the officers claimed that driving is automatic consent to any inspection, a blatant misrepresentation of the law. A driver's rights don't disappear the moment they get behind the wheel, and the officers knew that. Some cops count on you not knowing your rights so they can pretend you don't have any.
Let's say you're speeding. You can't say, I'm not giving you a driver's license. Because once you drive, you basically have implied consent that I agree to the rules.
But he got the driver's license. She didn't say nothing about the driver's license.
That's not even the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's a traffic violation.
Well, Tina, they just want to test you.
That's not possible.
They just want to test your tent, baby. Just let them test it.
Worst case scenario, the
deal
tent.
with it later.
Yeah, the tent's a ticket.
At the worst.
Yeah, you don't want a ticket.
You don't get arrested for that.
But you already...
However, failure to obey a lawful command is a chargeable offense in the state of Florida.
Yeah, he's going to give you a warning, so just let him test it, Tina.
No, we're not doing a warning now.
What is it?
Now, if it's a violation, then it's a ticket. But if it's not a violation, then it's not.
But then with
we cannot sit here all day and wait.
But then with the ticket, you can
You're taking
go
to
to court.
Yes, absolutely.
But Tina, let him go ahead and test it, so you'll know what you're dealing with.
You can always fight it,
Yep.
But you probably have to get a lawyer. Yeah, you want to go ahead and let him test it? Huh?
All right. Ma'am, I've explained the situation.
The situation reached a boiling point. The supervisor threatened arrest if the woman didn't roll up her windows within 30 seconds. A countdown to handcuffs over window tint was both absurd and unprofessional. What should have been a simple, reasonable interaction became a display of brute authority. Under pressure, and despite desperate pleas from those around her, the woman still refused to roll up the window.
Quite clearly, I've explained that this is a lawful command. I explained that failing to be a lawful command will lead to your arrest. So, one more time, are you going to roll the window up so you can test it, or are you going to get arrested?
Going to lead to my arrest.
Yes, I am.
Tina, who are you talking to? I'm her grandmother.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, who are you talking to? Who are you asking?
Ma'am, I will give you 30 seconds to make her to either get arrested or make a decision.
Tina, who are you talking?
25 seconds.
What am I getting?
20 seconds.
Roll your window up and let him do that job.
Listen, for resistance.
15 seconds.
It's not the point.
Don't do all. Listen, don't ruin your career over.
10 seconds.
Tina, really?
Please don't do that.
Roll your window up and let him test it.
Listen,
5 seconds.
Okay, go get it. Go get it.
Go get what?
Go get it.
He has it right here. Roll your window.
All right. You have to roll the window up, ma'am.
Roll your window up.
I got it.
You roll it up, I want to test it.
All right.
Roll it up.
Time's up.
I want to test it if you roll it up.
I'm going to roll it up.
Roll it up, Brian. Roll it up.
Okay.
Last chance. Roll it up. Roll it up or go to jail.
Halfway up.
Take her to jail. All right. We're done with this. You're under arrest.
Hey, stop.
Yes, sir. This is Sergeant Rudd, Tallahassee Police Department. We just arrested one of your correctional officers.
The police immediately arrested her for nonviolent resistance. The absurdity lies in the fact that the original reason for the stop, window tint, ultimately became an excuse for an arrest without any real offense. They informed her supervisor that she had been taken into custody even though she had done nothing violent. The officers claimed that they had tried everything, despite knowingly ignoring the simplest option, using a standard citation.
Sergeant Rudd?
Yes, sir. R-U-D-D.
Okay. Y'all pressing charges on her?
Yeah, it's she's getting arrested for resisting without violence.
All right. Sir, is there anything else you wish to share with me?
I'll gladly tell you exactly what happened. She got pulled over for a window tint violation, and she wouldn't roll her window up so we could test it. And after 25 minutes of trying to convince her that just roll the window up so we can test it and you can be on your way with, at worst, a ticket, she refused to comply. At that point, we gave her the option, like, all right, you can either roll the window up and let us test it, or we can arrest you and then roll the window up and test it. And she went with, she didn't want to roll the window up, so we arrested her and we tested the window, and it wasn't legal tint, but so she's getting a ticket and charged with resisting arrest.
Alrighty, she's having a bad day, ain't she?
She is, and the worst part is she's still wearing her uniform. So I'm assuming she didn't go into work.
No, sir, she did not.
Okay, yeah, she was still in her uniform, which is why I begged her and explained to her, like, if you get arrested, it's probably going to not be good for your career. And
in the end, the supervising officer admitted the woman was in uniform and that this would likely destroy her career. This is exactly what happens when evil cops forget their body cameras on. But this time, the footage made its way to social media, and let's just say, the officer became a perfect example of how not to behave in a position of power. If you think this case was bad, wait until you see what's coming next. Don't look away, because our next video dives into a situation even more outrageous than this one. Click through now to see for yourself how deep the problem really goes.